Hello, a very good evening to you from the North British Hotel in Edinburgh for a very special sports scene at the end of a memorable day for Scottish rugby and indeed for all of Scottish sport. This afternoon, before an ecstatic crowd at Murrayfield, Scotland completed the Grand Slam, something they hadn't done for all of 59 years, with a 21-12 win over France.
A great mixture of dialects all around the ground as the Scots mingle with those Frenchmen from the great rugby centres of France, from the Basque country, the Auvergne, the Dordogne, from Bayonne in the Pyrenees, from Agen and Dax, and from the Mediterranean resorts as well. Players in this French side from Nice and Biarritz, all joining to create a marvellous atmosphere for this end to the 1984 championship. Scottish side pin their faith in that Triple Crown winning side from Dublin. Indeed, their consistency of selection is evident in the fact that 12 have played in all 3 previous championship victories. The Ham and Eggs at half-back playing together for the 22nd time, and Jim Aitken defending an unbeaten record as captain over 5 games so far this season. France had left well alone after the win over England, which meant Jacques Bégout kept his place. Indeed, that back division have scored 35 major tries, but flu that struck down Erbany has caused 1 change in personnel and 2 positional switches in the pack, but no change in the captain, Jean-Pierre Rive, leading for a record 32nd time. A Grand Slam decider for his championship debut as referee, and that's the lot of Winston Jones, a 43-year-old lecturer from a College of Education in Swansea. He comes from Pontardawe, an ex-flanker who's been refereeing for 20 years. Serge Blanco, who kicks short for Jacques Bégout, and immediately the French have got up to their tricks right away. Good tackle by David Johnston. But what a clever start to an international match. All the forwards at one side, and a tricky little kick-off, beautifully placed for the right wing, Jacques Bégout. And there's the lad who knocked him down, David Johnston. On the Scottish 22 is Dean Strohs, gathered in at the back, but penalty right away against the Frenchman. And I think Jean Condon, yes, the big lad there, from the club Bucco, was penalised for talking back, and he's lost another 10 metres. John Rutherford, and what a lovely feeling to get your first touch kick spiralling away like that and well upfield.
Peter Walker of Arbroath Road, .B, please report to the players.
Philippe Dantrong throws. Free kick for closing the spaces. So that's a warning right away to the Frenchman. Winston Jones is well known for his line-out refereeing. And a great cheer for the Scots as they go for a short one. Laidlaw to Milne. The dummy to Laidlaw. The feed on there to Leslie. Leslie caught and put down there. Yes, the tackle looked high. The tackle by Jean-Charles Orso.
Correct there to penalise also, because in tackling Leslie from the short penalty, he just lay straight down on top of him, and the referee had no option because Leslie couldn't release the ball and also had gone over the top, killing it. So it's given Peter Dodds an ideal opportunity now to open the lead for Scotland, and it'll just settle their nerves and the kind of start that they're looking for.
The good side for Peter Dodds. Study and concentration, a little twitter at the beginning, and then Dodds goes high enough, dead straight. Scotland leading 3-0, and we've played just 3 minutes. And Peter Dodds has set a new record for a Scotsman in the championship, 36 points, beating the record of Andy Irvine. Well, it was dead plumb all the way, and what a start for Scotland. Oh, a nasty one for the Scots. Dodds came in front of his own post. Lucky for him. Well, it did go forward.
Scotland certainly very unlucky there. It's not often that you see the ball strike the post from a kick-off, and Dodds really, he should have put that one away. It's a little bit unlucky, but it's the kind of ball that you should be getting away at this level.
Well, now this is a great attacking position for the Frenchman. All kinds of options on here, especially as Gallion is there. But a free kick for foot up. So Scotland, 2 penalties and 2 free kicks already in this opening 5 minutes. Well, that right foot of John Rutherford certainly has been a crucial factor in Scotland's success this season, and he started well today with it. There's Philippe Dantrong, France's most capped hooker. 31st appearance today. Laidlaw to Rutherford. Rutherford, an awkward ball, but this is the kind of ball that Blanco loves to run back. That's a neat kick ahead by Blanco. That's the brilliance of the man looking inside. Taken by Joinel over the 22, but the touch judge's flag is up. So this brilliant fullback here has given Scotland just a little warning there that their kicks mustn't give him the chance to counter-attack. Absolutely lethal. Dean's throws, taken beautifully by Tomes. Is exactly where Scotland needed to do a caught ball. But again, not quite straight. French back division are so deeply lined, it really is astonishing how deep they are. However, it's Gallion, Lescarbura, Codorniu, Lescarbura, out there to Blanco. There's a chance here for Begu. Begu over the 22. That's very high, and Pollock is underneath it. Well, now this will be an interesting decision. He may have given a scrum 5 for a knock-on over the line. Certainly Scotland didn't take it over their own goal line, but that's probably it. The knock forward over the goal line. Ball made dead. Indeed, if a French hand had got to it, it would have been a try. Scotland badly need a turn or an 8-manner here, but Dantrong has won his ball, and there's the secondary shot going in. Joinel is holding, and Orso as well. They could get a pushover try with it. Well, it looks as if Gallion may have knocked it forward. Let's see what Winston Jones has done. Oh, he's given it to the Frenchman, and so he's decided Scotland took over their own line. Once again holding, and the Scots... you'll notice them all looking across at the referee, because it's one of those situations where it's so easy to get offside. You have to cover so many options as a defending side in this position. Gallion, Lescarbura, Codorniu switches to Blanco. Blanco half block. That's a long kick, and back there goes Peter Dodds. Referee deciding, I think there may have been a bit of unintentional obstruction there. So certainly so far the team that has shown the indiscipline have been the Frenchmen. French 10 metres line. Campbell rescues. French did well to win that to Gallion. Lescarbura well tackled inside there to Joinel, out from Reeve. Codorniu. Yes, the bounce got a little bit high for Peter Dodds there. He didn't really have it covered exactly. France are using Ager, the 34-year-old who was brought into the side. He's at number 2 in their line. D'Hospital is just behind him, number 1 on his back. There's Ager. Through there goes Jim Calder. Gallion. Lescarbura again. A huge high Gary Owen. In there came Jim Pollock. Codorniu. out there to Dubroca. Dubroca to Esteve. Esteve back inside to Dantrong. They're 10 metres out from the Scottish line. Now it's Gallion. Lescarbura. Must be a score here if Begu has the legs to get there. Roger Baird has missed it. And there came David Leslie. And Leslie's magnificent work on the floor saved Scotland there. We've spoken so often of how this Gala flank forward somehow gets an arm or a finger to the ball and gathers it in on the floor, and he did it again to save 4 points for Scotland. That's the Scottish goal line. Orso with the pickup. The big lad Orso, who's been playing number 8 for his club a lot this season, although he was originally chosen for this match as a lock forward. But not unaccustomed to that number 8 position. And certainly that was very nicely done. Gallion drives, the try is given. And France surely deserved that one. They've gone ahead by 4 points to 3, 24 minutes gone. And the little scrum half has scored his 9th try for France.
Yes, the pressure finally told on the Scots then. Here we see they've withstood about 4 or 5 back row the scrummage. They're going for the 8-man. Also picks up. Gallion comes round, and really those are bread and butter tries for a scrum half. You see Roy Laidlaw do it numerous occasions for Scotland, and that's a great try for France.
Lescarbura dead straight. And France ahead by 6 points to 3.
Here it is again, also moving around. He commits Jim Calderwell there, and Gallion just half a gap, diving between the tackles of Paxton there and David Johnson, with Begu unmarked outside. We could well have used him.
6 points to 3, France in the lead, and we've about 14 minutes to go to the break. Nobody can say that the Frenchmen don't deserve that lead. Dodds long. Lescarbura. Oh, that's almost over the stand. He kicks like a donkey, this fella. Campbell Palm, but breakaway there by Orso. Gallion, Lescarbura, along the line to sell it to Codorniu. Blanco in the line, out there to Esteve. Esteve, the flying machine, out to Blanco. Brilliant running by the French backs, but that was a very poor finish indeed.
It just shows how quick these guys are there, that with very limited space there, they managed to get Blanco. Here it comes there, Lescarbura. Into the line comes Blanco, and he cleverly loops round Esteve there, releasing him. Really, Blanco could well have been better just to look inside for a bit of support there rather than putting in the cross kick.
France with a 2-man line. Through goes Leslie. But a free kick for being, I think, 3-2.
Yes, what David Leslie's doing is going to the scrum half position in the line-out, and it enables him, with the new change of the law, that he can stand beyond the back of the line-out. And there, when Joannel went up for the ball, then Leslie was a good yard offside. But it does look as though that Scotland have got 3 men to the 2 of Frenchmen, but it's because Leslie has moved to the scrum half position at the back of the line-out, which is legal this season.
Now watch Lescarbura here. He takes just about 3 paces and blow, but he got his head up like that time. And I know what that's like, because I do it quite often on the golf course. And that's a superb clearance there by Calder. Well done. A nasty ball coming back off the post for the Scots. Referee's whistle goes for half-time. And France have arrived there deservedly in the lead by 6 points to 3. It's been a half in which Scotland have really had to be sitting back on their heels and fighting a rearguard action. And a half, I think, which really, in a sense, France might well have been further ahead at this break. Still a dull day here, but no sign yet of rain or snow or sleet or anything else. The conditions still absolutely ideal, as Peter Dodds, with a new Scottish record for a championship, 36 points in the 4 games, just about to start the second half. Dodds then kicking high. And long to Blanco, who doesn't fiddle about, just touches down straight away. Now Les Carbura has a look around. He's just 23, this big lad, so he's a lot of rugby in him. And look at that. A big dropout right up to Jim Pollock. Pollock very high, but well, he kept it in play. Philippe Dantrong was underneath it. I thought it had faded out, but in fact it was a better kick than it looked. Deans throws long. Joinel takes it the back. Reeves rips it clear. Gallion to Les Carbura. Les Carbura finding space. In comes Dodds. He was just a yard short. The pick up there by Ager. Ager actually fell the wrong way, but the Frenchmen have done well to get the ball on their side. Gallion, a long one away up to Roy Laidlaw inside the 22. And nothing serious there. Jacques Bégout, although Roy Laidlaw was knocked over, it was purely accidental, and Jacques Bégout acknowledged that. France now level with Scotland at 9 tries scored. Domes palms. Campbell goes in. That's the kind of ruck ball Scotland were hoping for. John Rutherford. That's high across to Bégout. Up comes Roger Baird. Another brilliant take by the French wing, and he beat his man beautifully. That was a good return. Leslie waits underneath. Taken on by Calder. Calder feeds on to Laidlaw. Great French marking as he's caught by Dantron. Domes picks up. Out from Baird to Rutherford. Again long, and Blanco waits. Leaves it to Bégout. Now for the first time the Scots have cut to only 2. Domes and Leslie against Condon and Joinel. Leslie took it but lost possession. But a penalty to Scotland for going through offside against Joinel.
Yes, Joinel made no attempt there to go for the ball. He was just looking straight at Roy Laidlaw. And this has given Peter Dodds an ideal opportunity now to get Scotland back into the game, that France have dominated it so far.
And here we go. Dodds, as he got it through the middle, just wide. And it stays at 6 points to 3 for France, with almost 4 minutes of the second half played. Les Carbura long again. Rutherford. Gallion.
I really think that Scotland would be better from these long 25s in running at France, in having a bit of a go at them. There's no point just punting the ball back. They'd be far better doing a bit more counter-attacking.
Deans throws. Paxton. Calder.
I don't think I've seen a game where there's been so many throws not straight. I think we can count on one hand the amount of clean ball that actually been won by either side from the line out.
Again, good Scottish shove. They've taken it against the head. On goes Paxton. Calder. Down goes Campbell to rescue. Now it's Paxton again. Caught that done by Ager. The pick up by Deans. The feed on there to Tomes. Now it's Laidlaw. Rutherford. Rutherford half through, inside there to Robertson. They're in front of the French post and inside the 22. Well, that could easily have been a penalty to Scotland as Joinel knocked Aitken back on his own side. But although there's a lot of cheering, the fact is that the French defence was equal to everything Scotland threw at them there. Laidlaw, the switch to Johnston. Oh, there's a penalty to Scotland for a bit of nasty play off the ball there. Jean-Luc Joinel, number 7, looked very annoyed at that decision. But it was clearly a bit of rough stuff off the ball. And what a chance for Scotland to equalise. Well, in fact, the referee's got a bit of a knock as well, but taking it in very good heart. 360 points he scored this season, Peter Dodds. And did he ever have a more important goal kick than this one? This could tie the score. Dodds then. Well, he's hooked it again. Believe it or not, another chance gone.
Yes, Scotland, you just can't afford to miss chances like that. If you're playing for the Grand Slam game, the decider, you have to take every chance that you get.
Dubravka, Gallion, Lescarbura. And again, a huge punt. Back goes Peter Dodds. Brilliant take on the retreat there. You can see Peter Dodds' bump on the eye there, but he certainly never took his eyes off that one. France again down to 2. That time meant for Gallion, but taken indeed by Leslie. Paxton was the man who got over. But the throw-in not being straight. Well, that's Jérôme Gallion, I think, the French scrum half, who got such a dunt there as David Leslie, and he went for the ball.
Here it comes again, two-man line-out, and David Leslie goes for the ball. He catches Jérôme Gallion there. It's a purely accidental thing, and one could only hope that Gallion makes a swift recovery from that. I noticed that the referee has signalled for a stretcher for Jérôme Gallion.
So this will be a very severe blow indeed to the Frenchman. They've still got a very lively, experienced little man to come on in his place, but without the physical presence of the man who's leaving. There's Pierre Berbizier waiting to take the field. Of course, the doctor has to decide, but Pierre Berbizier there of Lourdes has played in 10 internationals so far. A great well of sympathy all round Murrayfield here for this tough little campaigner. So the Scottish Home Doctor has to decide that Jérôme Gallion cannot come on, and Berbizier will then go. Jean-Pierre Rive has gone to scrum half. Rutherford switching to the other side. The dummy there and really heavily caught. Calder gathers in. But a penalty for playing the ball in the tackle. And that could be a fatal one for Scotland. So the little Lourdes scrum half, Pierre Berbizier, comes on for his 11th cap, a 25-year-old PE teacher who got his first cap against Scotland in 1981 and played in all the championship matches of that season. And the stately figure of Jean-Patrick Lescarbura, who with his very short run up here, they reckon he plays in each international in a new pair of rugby boots. And the straight-on, old-fashioned toe type of kick. Here he goes, look. 1, 2, 3, Lescarbura. And it works. And France have a 6 points cushion.
Here it is, as you say, Bill, 2 steps, and that one is plumb between. And that really has given France the lead that they wanted now, 6 points.
Berbizier, Lescarbura. Roger Bear. Dodds. Dantrong throws. Through goes Leslie. Leslie charges on. The pass taken by Joannel. Penalty to the Scots. Trying to handle the ball back after the tackle. Joannel penalised. And Peter Dodds called forward once again. And here, the slim lad from Gala, who's already missed 2 very kickable penalties. This one well out with the kickable range, you'd say. Can Dodds bring Scotland back into the game? Dodds then, straight enough, long enough, it's there. The flags wave, Scottish hearts are lifted once again. They're back to just a 3 points deficit.
And here it is. It must give Peter Dodds a lot of confidence to get this one over, because he missed one from right in front of the post quarter of an hour earlier, and that's really given Scotland the lift that they needed.
Rutherford's kick has found Blanco. That goes across field, it's not too good. Well taken by Robertson. Robertson feeding on to Campbell. On halfway. Penalty against the French for being on the wrong side. Danton annoyed at the treatment of Reid. And French indiscipline has lost them 10 metres again. That time Philippe Danton the culprit. And Dodds with the chance to tie the score. But really it was the marvellous catch by Keith Robertson that started it all off. Alistair Campbell setting it up. And then Reid going on the wrong side. And Danton showing his indiscipline. Dodds then to make it 9-9. Looks good. He's done it again.
From almost identical position from the kick that he got a minute earlier, Peter Dodds strokes that one over. With a quarter of an hour to go and the score's tied. Everybody going for the Grand Slam. It's going to be one heck of a finish now.
12 minutes plus injury time to the finish, and 9 points all. And Peter Dodds has hoisted his Scottish record to 42 points. That's in the one championship. 42 points in the 4 games this season. Nobody has ever done better than that for Scotland. Gathered in by Dubroca. He's been the line-out sweeper for the French. Berbizier, Lescarbura with the drop goal. That's a massive kick. What a superb kick, and it's over. This great big lad from Dax has saved the Frenchman once more. He is overjoyed, as indeed are all the Frenchmen in this huge crowd, because France have gone ahead again, 12 points to 9, 11 minutes left. And Lescarbura has set a new championship record with that penalty goal. 8 points in this match, 54 points for the championship, and that beats Ollie Campbell's record for the whole championship of last season.
And here we see the drop goal that Lescarbura, a good 40 yards out, swivels 2 steps, and that is a monster kick there. You know, that if a side is under pressure, you've suddenly seen your lead gone, and then inside a minute to retake the lead with that drop goal, that is a great kick.
10 minutes to go. 3 points in it. Berbizier, Lescarbura. Dodds. Yeah, that's a bit further forward. Blanco called for the mark, and he's been caught. Caught there by Dodds. The whole Scottish forward pack smashing in there. And Tomes as well, but it had gone forward. Well, talk about Grand Slam fever, it's all here at Murrayfield. And we're having a Grand Slam finale as well. 9 minutes of the match to go, 12-9 France lead, that's the French goal line. Points in it, it's been as close as that almost throughout the match. Winston Jones trots round to make sure that there's no shenanigan on that far side. And a Channel 1 ball to Laidlaw. Rutherford caught by Reid, given on to Calder. Joannel comes in with a tackle. And the French have cleared that one. That might have been a ball Scotland could have held in their back row. France going for a fourth Grand Slam. 68, 77 and 81. Scotland no Grand Slam since 1925. Reeve playing scrum half to Berbizier. And the seconds tick away and Scotland have 7 minutes plus injury time. Deans using the tail. And Berbizier a little lucky there to get a ball that came out nicely to him and knew exactly what to do with it. This is the little fellow. Oh, a quick throw in for Scotland. Robertson onto Rutherford. The feed on to Leslie. That caught the French napping. And it's a penalty for killing it. Yes, the French forward over on the wrong side. Orso was the culprit. There's the big lad who chosen as a lock for the match and eventually switched to number 8. And again, really stupidity in French ranks because it's made that kick so much easier for Peter Dodds.
Yes, if you consider that in 3 of Dodds' attempted penalty kicks and 2 of his successful ones, that France have been penalised a further 10 yards on all those occasions for talking to the referee. You'd think that international players would know better, but we see it in every match now.
Peter Dodds then to make it 12-12. All the way. 4 penalty goals for Peter Dodds, and it's all level again with about 6 minutes to go.
Yeah, the kick's made a lot easier by the French indiscretion there, and he just strokes that one straight between her. Nice simple kick, but also imagine the pressure that he's been under as well. He's missed a couple of simple ones, and he knows that he's got everything to play for now in the final couple of minutes.
Urgent police message. This is an urgent police message.
Laidlaw, Rutherford, this will come across field. There it is, the high cross field. David Johnson coming up underneath it. Begu, the bounce has beaten everybody except Tudor-New. And Tudor-New has had to kick it in to about 5 metres from his own line. But the little centre did the important thing there. He got there. Dean's ready to take the quick throw, but the referee quite rightly saying the second ball has to go off the field. Plus the fact you've got to take the quick throw in with the ball that went into touch. We've about 3 minutes to go. It's 12 points all. The Grand Slam hanging on those last 3 minutes or so. It's a try there for Scotland. And the scorer is Jim Calder. And they've gone into the lead 16 points to 12. The flag's waving everywhere.
And it's Dean's throwing the ball in, and if you look for Joinel, he goes up for the ball, he doesn't gather it, and it's straight to Calder's hands and plunged it over. And I'll tell you what, that is the try of the season for Scotland. It doesn't matter, we've seen some great tries from them, but that one's the one that really counted.
Try for try then with the Frenchman. 16 points to 12, Scotland lead. And Peter Dodds with the chance to stretch it further and make France score twice to win. Oh, he struck it as if he was playing for Gala without any strain at all.
And here we see it again. Colin Dean's going for a long throw, looking towards Ian Paxton. And Joinel comes up, just gets one hand to it, uncontrolled, straight into the hands of Jim Calder. Really, the French blocking there wasn't good at all. It was an enormous gap for Calder to go through, but certainly that's a try that nobody in Scotland will forget.
6 points in it, a minute to go, plus injury time. But it hadn't gone the 10 metres from the kick-off, and Scotland go back for the scrummage. I think Colin Deans has won up against the head in this match, and the singing has started all round the ground. Jim Aitken in this side must feel that the hour of destiny is at hand for him and for his side, as Laidlaw feeds Rutherford, and Rutherford prods another one, a nasty, awkward ball for Blanco. He beats his man on the outside, up to Peter Dodds. Dodds very high and across, but it's a ball that France could run at them, but he was played late, and the referee has given the double penalty. Blanco was the man chasing up after the kick, and Dodds laid flat.
Yes, the referee was quite right in that decision, that Blanco, that he made no attempt really there, he just leapt straight in. And Peter Dodds, the referee had just no alternative to award Scotland the penalty. And really that is just sort of akin to committing suicide really, when you're in a vital position, problems on the field, and you go points behind, and then basically I think he's just given Scotland another 3 points.
Well, it certainly has been a feature of this match that the Frenchmen have lost their cool much too often, and that Jean-Pierre Rives' captaincy also may come under scrutiny, because they've spoken back far, far too often. Peter Dodds with this kick. We're a minute into injury time at the end of the match. Scotland perhaps just seconds away from one of their great moments in the history of rugby union football. But of course, who knows? The French great ones for counter-attacking. Peter Dodds with 5 goals to his credit in this match, trying for the 6th. And succeeding. Points to 12, Scotland lead. Great whistles all round the ground telling the referee that he should blow for no side. Pick up and feed from Calder to Laidlaw. But offside, picking up when the ball was still in the scrimmage. Scotland speaking out a turn there, and Dantrum goes from Verbizier. Now it's out, Verbizier, Lescarbura, Codorniu, Sella cuts inside, he's a powerful, strong running centre. There to Lescarbura, taken by Laidlaw, on the Scottish 10 metres line. A great attempt by France to pull it round. One feels if they'd done more of that among their backs, Scotland would have had a lot more bother. 21-12. We've played almost 8 minutes of injury time. Back from Paxton, Laidlaw to Baird, Baird sprints, the kick to Blanco, Blanco showing an accustomed frailty there. Dodds has it, the referee's whistle goes for the end of the match, and Scotland have done it. The scenes of exultation here are well historic, if you like. There's the happiest man in Scotland at the moment, Jim Aitken, captain of their Grand Slam. We haven't had scenes like this at Murrayfield since 1925, when GPS McPherson of Edinburgh Academicals led Scotland to their previous Grand Slam, the only time in their history that they've managed it. Well, this is the second time, played for 1-4, and the whole of Scotland rejoices. And in the end, Bill, a superb comeback by the Scottish side.
Oh yes, when they went 6 points down early in the second half, I really thought they were down and out then. But it was a great performance by them. They never gave up trying, and they were helped on quite a few occasions by the French, who, as the pressure came on, they reacted in the wrong way, violent way, and they were quite rightly penalised by the referee, but it's been a great season for Scotland, that they thoroughly deserve the Grand Slam. They've been one of the sides that have always played rugby, and this afternoon, that when the pressure came on, that they reacted in the rugby sense of the word, and the French didn't react. They started niggling and turned to sort of violence, and were quite rightly penalised by the referee, and that enabled Scotland to get back in the game. But Scotland, having withstood a heck of a lot of pressure in the first half, were well worthy winners at the end of the second. A great day for Scottish rugby.
Not to climb over the fences.
Well, Jim Aiken, remarkable record you've had as skipper. What do you put it down to then?
Having a fairly good team, I would say. I mean, I've been in the right place at the right time. There must be a lot of that.
Well, Alan Tomes mentioned fitness there. Certainly in the last 20 minutes it seemed as though you were the far stronger side.
I've reckoned this year that one thing that would carry us through was our fitness. And I think in the second half, especially in this game, that was a telling factor.
And Jim Calder, the try scorer, obviously that's going to live with you forever.
Well, yeah. Can I say something? It was great to score the try, but you know, just caught it and fell over. It wasn't really a 10-yard dash, but no doubt it'll get a bit longer.
It made no difference. Certainly, you haven't lost your pace over a yard there. How did the try come about?
Well, I do remember thinking when the line-out started that if I just drift through the line-out, I might get a deflection, and that's what happened. And I think we got lucky to get away with it, but I'm quite happy to get the try.
But it all counted. Obviously a great birthday present for you, Jim.
Oh yes, couldn't be better. I've had a few, but that's the best one so far.
And what do you put it down to this season?
Well, I think you asked us the same thing after the Triple Crown win. I think that there's been a variety of factors. One, you have to have good players in the first place. Two, you have to have commitment from them. Three, you have to have a format to work on. I think we had a plan. We have the kind of players that stuck to the plan, and also I think we've been abroad and got to know each other better.
Well, looking around here, it certainly looks like been a big fight at the boxing ring. That Ian Milner, come over here, Ian. You certainly caught one or two this afternoon.
Oh, you get used to it. I was just thinking, if Jim's in the Colts team, I'm in the under-16 team anyway, so.
But you've obviously enjoyed the season.
Oh, it's been a great season, but it's easy with the boys round us as well, you know. I think it's like a big club at the moment, and hope it continues that way.
Of course, the Scottish side today are seeking to improve that record against Wales, and also, of course, their recent record of one win from the last 17 games. They stick to the same back division as played against France. Back division boasting 125 caps, and those 7 fellas have scored 21 tries in major internationals. Andy Irvine getting his 39th cap today. A heavy onus on the pack, of course. It's led by Jim Aitken, a new engine room of Tomes and Cuthbertson. David Leslie back at flanker. Tomes, one of the 5 British Lions in the side, led by another Lion, Andy Irvine. 8 Borderers, 5 Edinburgh and 2 Glasgow. And here are the Welsh side, looking as always a bit grim, as you would naturally expect in the seconds before kick-off. A Welsh team with them, morale up after their tingling win over England. Steve Fenwick leads them onto the field, and my, what a tremendous ovation they're getting from their huge support here. Scottish team come out from their dressing room. Andy Irvine at the head. Here he is, Jim Aitken, the pack leader and vice-captain behind number 1 there. There were some fitness doubts about the Welsh side, but happily they're all restored. The most capped player afield, JPR Williams, in his 55th major match. A lot of footballing ability in the back division. A vital cog in the machine, Gareth Davis, and a somewhat new-look pack who did so well against England. The side captained by Steve Fenwick, who himself plays in his 30th international. The bands leave the field, and there's one Irishman out here today whose attention certainly won't be riveted on the Ireland versus France match at Lansdowne Road, and that's referee David Burnett from Dublin. There he is, a former centre who takes charge of his 4th major international, aided by Ireland's other 2 international panel referees, John West and Michael Ray, the 2 touch judges. Scotland going to kick off. Wales may have won the toss. Andy Irvine starts the match. And immediately it's Gareth Davis. What a kick to start with. Well, it's really hard to tell just who's going to be favoured by this strong wind today, because it's gusting all round Murrayfield, sometimes to the right to left, sometimes left to right. Anyway, the first line out of the match has Jeff Wheel with the white sweatband there against Bill Cuthbertson, the bearded lad from Kilmarnock. Jeff Squire knocks it back. Brynmore Williams, Gareth Davis, tackled there by Leslie. On there goes Stone. The kick on by Aitken. Up there comes Deans. Ackerman down, but the ball had gone forward. In fact, one of the Scots forwards was in front as the ball went forward, and it's an offside penalty. Gareth Davis. Well, there have been worries about Gareth Davis's fitness. He's had certainly trouble with the knee, but no problems with those two lovely touch kicks. Norrie Rowan just behind Bill Cuthbertson there alongside Ian Stevens. Then Clive Davis, the try scorer for Wales against England, opposite Alan Tomes with the white sweatband for the Scots. Penalty for obstruction. Jeff Squire, who leads the Welsh back. John Rutherford. Well, that's a good reply. The young Selkirk standoff half playing in his 10th international, and already with 4 tries to his credit. That's the Welsh 22. Ian Stevens of Bridgend in his 2nd international. Alan Phillips throws. Looked like a good ball, but there's a good drive from the Scots. However, Wales retaliating well. Ball held, and Wales have the option of the put in. Jim Calder, number 6 there, having inserted himself and managed to prevent the Welshman from getting the ball clear. Scotland with the put in, and the Welsh backs have moved right up close to the rear feet. Roy Laidlaw, the 8th player from the border club Jed Forest to play for Scotland, puts in. Number 6 is offside. Rodri Lewis, Scott, offside as the Scots held it in the scrimmage. And right away, as the young flank forward from the South Glamorgan Institute of Higher Education is penalised, Andy Irvine with a chance to put Scotland in the lead. Well, it looks easy enough from up here, but I tell you, this is a desperately hard day for goal kicking. The underground conditions just a little bit treacherous here and there, but the bustling wind is the real problem. Andy Irvine. 185 points for Scotland, but trying to use the wind, didn't draw it nearly enough. JPR Williams touches down, and Steve Fenwick, as always, ready for the quick dropout. Gareth Davis restarts. Up there goes Clive Davis. And that certainly isn't the kind of ball that a lightly built lad like David Nicholas wants, close to the touchline with half the Scottish back there. Scotland clipping the line out again. John Beattie. Brynmore Williams. Oh, some really serious footwork there, and that's a caution for Jeff Wheel. And David Burnett refereed Wales-England last season, so Steve Fenwick will be very keen to just settle everybody down. That was definitely, from the referee's point of view, dangerous use of the foot, stamping in other words. It's a caution to the big Swansea lock forward Jeff Wheel, and Jim Rennick has the chance to kick the goal. Trying to prod it forward, low, the flags are up, and Scotland are ahead by 3 points to 0 with 13 minutes of the first half over.
So
Jim Aitken on this side against Graham Price. Scotland to turn and have driven. That's one of the modern tactics now. You put in the wheel first of all and then you drive, and it can be terribly disruptive. But there a Scot has got offside. Norrie Rowan maybe. And another penalty to the Welshman. Now Gareth Davies probably hasn't nominated to kick for goal, so he could do anything he liked. I think he's going to hoist it. The Gary Owen. Oh, and it's a nasty one. Steve Munro, the ball flighting away from him. Up goes Andy Irvine. Nicholas was there, managed to get the shoulder in. That's Steve Fenwick, but the referee's whistle had gone for a nudge forward. Just inside Scotland's 22. Laidlaw, Rutherford. Well, that was almost a miraculous kick, because Rutherford was so tight to the touchline, and he's gained something like 40 metres, right up to the Scots 10 metres line. And it's Wales this time who've decided to clip the line to 3. Line-out's becoming unrecognisable nowadays, I tell you, with 2s and 3s. Gareth Williams couldn't get it. John Beattie does, but he was outside the length of the line, and it's a free kick to the Welshman. John Beattie having gone beyond the stipulated 15 metres. Gareth Davies prods Wales up again into Scotland's 22. So with 22 minutes of the first half gone, Scotland still ahead with that Jim Rennick penalty goal. David Leslie at the tail, number 7 for Scotland against Rodri Lewis for Wales. Through there goes Jim Aitken, but it was rescued by Graham Price. Good, powerful driving by the Welsh forwards. That was good mauling. Now it's back. Brynmo Williams, Gareth Davies. JPR Williams in the line. Caught there, half caught by Rennick and by Beattie, just in front of the Scottish posts. Aitken wrestling for it for the Scots. And on the wrong side, a penalty to Wales. So Jim Aitken was actually the fellow who tried to pinch it from JPR in the end after John Beattie's tackle. But in doing so, he got on the wrong side and blocked the clearance. So it's Steve Fenwick once again. He just needs 4 points for his 150 for Wales. And there he's got 3 of them. Remarkable kicking style by Steve Fenwick there. He just took a couple of paces, all he needed. And a short, sharp stab. And the great legions from Wales are happier now at 3 points all, with about 23 minutes of the first half gone. Rutherford restarts. Graham Price catches. Gareth Williams rips clear. Brynmo Williams feeds Gareth Davies. Oh, a lovely bit of magic. A lovely tackle there. Now it's out to Rodri Lewis. Lewis almost up to halfway. Throws it out there nicely. Richards out to Nicholas. Nicholas up to the 22. Irvine with the tackle. The ball had gone forward. They'll have to come back. So David Richards really had a big part in that, because it was a beautifully timed pass from him which released Nicholas. But just forward. And Wales certainly not intent on letting Scotland do all the fancy stuff out here. That was a lovely breakaway move from their own 22. Nicely from Beattie. Rutherford, Rennick to Keith Robertson. He's through, he didn't knock it on. Keith Robertson over halfway, out to Calder. Calder to Deans. Deans over the 22. Inside to Calder. It must be a try, surely. And it's given. Alan Combs may well have been the man who got the try at the end. There's the big lock forward with his 3rd try for Scotland. A marvellous movement. Rennick really made it with a short pass, and how Robertson juggled well. Some superb running by Calder, the flank forward. Then on to Deans. Now Deans didn't feel he had quite the pace inside to Calder. Got rid of it just short. And Alan Tomes dives over to give Scotland a 7-3 lead. Jim Rennick with the conversion attempt. It's there. Well, Murrayfield's buzzing. Scotland 9, Wales 3, 26 minutes of the first half gone. And Jim Rennick there with a couple of neat little goal kicks to his credit. Tries this tremendously durable tight head prop forward, who today plays his 31st successive international for Wales. The most, well, coming near to being the most capped prop, that held by Denzel Williams with 36. Gareth Williams inside to Squire, but the Scottish fringe defence sound there. Brynmo Williams burrows in, a Scot. Scott is getting on the wrong side, Jim Calder. Alan Phillips, the placer. Fenwick trying to make it 9-6. That looks good. Oh, it's a beauty. It looked as if it was going to change its mind, but it changed it the correct way. And the Welshmen are delighted again, because that cuts it to 9 points to 6 with about 8 minutes to go to half-time. So this is going to be a nail-biter. Jim Rennick decides to kick off the other way, and it's very useful. Going out of play over the dead ball line, and of course forcing Wales to take the drop out in Scotland with a definite territorial advantage.
There is no doubt that Wales would have been glad of that 3 points, because they need to take a little bit of the sting out of the tenacity of the Scottish side at the moment.
Gareth Davis restarts. John Beattie goes through. Beautifully out to Tomes. Tomes looking inside for Bill Cuthbertson, who is there. Now it's Laidlaw. Rutherford along to Rennick. Rennick outside to Irvine. There's an overlap here. Can Bruce Hay get to the corner? Trying to get it inside. Lovely tackle there by Dave Richards and Robert Ackerman. And Bruce Hay almost got his second try for Scotland. So the Scots really pressurising Wales all over the place here, and certainly taking the game to them. An entirely different Scots effort to that in Paris 3 weeks ago. Phillips realising this throw is so vital. Roy Laidlaw goes back. Phillips is through. Wheel goes in to block him. Deans goes through to try and get onto the loose ball. Ball held. Norrie Rowan, the builder who plays for Boroughmuir, in there, and Jim Calder asserts his authority. Scotland going to turn them again. May well have been deliberately going over the top as the ball came through, but no doubt that it's a penalty. Oh, that's another lovely kick by Gareth Davis. He screwed it beautifully into touch. Gareth Williams, Brynmo Williams, caught by John Rutherford, feeds back and Squire went in for it. Bit of uncertainty between Squire and Fenwick there. A piratical figure of Bill Cuthbertson, the Kilmarnock fitter there, number 4. Welsh forwards driving on there. That really is a tremendous charge by them. They're putting in everything in here just as half-time approaches. And they've established a very strong attacking position indeed, although Scotland do have the put in. We're 2 minutes into injury time at the break. 9-6 to Scotland. The Scottish scrummage showing a little bit sign of strain and wear there. Offside. Well, no, it was a swing with a boot. Well, now John Rutherford will want to be sure to find touch here just to settle the side in this temporary state of siege. Referee's whistle goes for half-time. And it's been a really exciting half. Perhaps not as much flowing play as one would want. The blustery wind not helping that, but each side showing that where the opportunity occurs, they're prepared to move the ball by hand. Scotland leading by 9 points to 6. Well, we've got 40 minutes of tremendous excitement to come, because those two countries have produced some marvellous rugby over the last few seasons, but of course Wales have won the last 5 in a row. They've already beaten England. They're thinking in terms of the Triple Crown. Steve Fenwick starts the second half, right up to Roy Laidlaw. So Wales seem to be a man short. We'll just check up and see who has gone off. We think it's David Nicholas, the left wing, because Rodri Lewis, the flank forward, has been brought out onto the left wing at the moment. So Wales are down to 14 players. And there's obviously going to be a replacement, and they'll be very pleased, I think, down in Maesteg, because this is Gwyn Evans, who's been brought into the side for his first cap, and what a lovely moment for him. 154 points he scored for Maesteg last season. So Gwyn Evans is on for David Nicholas. So we're 10 metres outside the Scottish 22. Jeff Wheel come in, Colin Deans went through a bit too quickly. And so a chance for the Welsh captain to tie the score. So this is Steve Fenwick, who's got over his 150 points today. The most capped Welsh centre of all time, of course, his 30th international. And this really is a very hard kick indeed. That's just about what it looks like to Steve Fenwick from ground level. So, Fenwick to make it 9-9. Well, he's pulled it round well, but maybe too far. Jim Rennick couldn't hold it, but he cleverly turned sideways, as most of the textbooks say, so that he didn't knock it on. So Scotland still ahead by 9 points to 6. 9 minutes of the second half over. And up there goes Beattie again. Goodness, he's plucked the ball out of there. Well, Laidlaw on the run, caught by Alan Phillip, out to Alan Tomes. Tomes driving on, tackled by Price. Laidlaw, Rutherford finding a huge lump of space. JPR having to rush across inside his own 22. Colin Deans underneath, but a great breakout by the Scots, led by John Beattie. JPR always as safe as houses, maybe not as fast as of yore, but still a great man to have behind you. Beattie again, Laidlaw over the 22, driven on by Jim Calder. Now out from Deans, Rutherford, Rennick with a drop goal. The referee was beautifully positioned, the ball dipped away. He's waiting for the touchdown, drop out to Wales. Well, that was a superb passage of Scottish play. It really was superb stuff by Beattie. Having made the run, he had enough energy to get up there. Then Roy Laidlaw, who's a powerful little fellow, managed to go. Jim Calder was up. The tackle was by Dave Richards. And then laid back. John Rutherford took it first. And Jim Rennick, with Steve Fenwick close, gave himself room. And he'll be annoyed he didn't kick it. Rutherford manufacturing the kick. JPR Williams, trouble with his studs. Up there goes Monroe. Williams in trouble. Calder away to Gareth Williams. Beattie tackles him. In there goes Leslie on the Welsh 22. Now it's back out to Rutherford. Laidlaw Laidlaw the dummy. Caught by Jeff Squire. Penalty for offside. And really, I've never seen the Scottish forwards so tigerishly up onto man and ball as they've been today, not for a good spell. Jim Calder there showing how the flanker's speed is so essential. And Andy Irving realising that Jim Rennick... It all started, of course, from JPR slipping, and you notice Steve Munro and Jim Calder up quickly. And that was Dave Richards, but Jim Rennick with the chance to stretch the lead. Pushed outside the right-hand post. He's annoyed with himself. He's probably said a couple of naughty hoik words to himself. And it stays at 9 points to 6 with 12 minutes of the second half over. Gareth Davis starts long. John Rutherford with the catch. Rutherford in 2 minds, and he's got himself into trouble. On halfway. And there are just moments in John Rutherford's career when he has those little bouts of uncertainty. Mind you, the Welsh were beautifully positioned. They'd really blocked off virtually every avenue. Clive Davis directing that one nicely. Now the pick-up by Gareth Williams and helped by Jeff Squire. A kick on by Jim Rennick as the ball came clear. Norrie Rowan charging up. Back goes Gwyn Evans inside his own 22. Put down by Munro. Norrie Rowan is there as well. A penalty against Evans for not releasing in the tackle. And another chance to Scotland. They'll have to wait because Colin Deans, the hooker, the Scottish hooker, is injured back on halfway. And that really was a tremendous bit of galloping by Norrie Rowan, number 3 down there. When Jim Rennick kicked it forward, Rowan came loose and he galloped all the way and had a very vital part indeed in forcing Gwyn Evans to hold on. Jim Rennick prepares to try and put Scotland 12-6 in the lead. Well, he had a real old hoik at that one, and yet, Bruce Hay almost got a try out of it. Fenwick across there, and Ackerman across there, and Rodri Lewis across there. So, chances going agley on both sides. 9-6, 15 minutes of the second half. In goes Tomes, it's caught by Leslie. Knocked forward by a Welsh hand. Now we haven't seen any pick up and drive by the Scots, probably because they're very keen indeed just to try and hold their scrummage. Down channel 1, Rutherford, Rennick, the switch to Bruce Hay. Bruce Hay thundering on, caught by Gareth Davis. Now the drive away by Calder, Laidlaw out to Rutherford, Rutherford to Steve Munro, Munro with a little jink, lovely tackle by Brynmore Williams, up goes Calder, in comes JPR. Well, that was a neat bit of cleaning up by JPR, but the crucial tackle was a blistering one by Brynmore Williams. The whole of Murrayfield in ferment here as we see the Welsh inside their 22 again, but the Scots have been penalised. Maybe just breaking off and being in front. So Wales have cut to 2, Clive Davis and Gareth Williams. Tomes and Beattie, the two. Beattie has gone out the end of the line out, referee playing advantage. Brynmore Williams, Gareth Davis, Richard, Rodri Lewis. Lewis half past Rennick, but tackled by Rennick and Calder on the Scottish 22. Leslie in with a tackle as well. Now it's Brynmore Williams once more. Williams caught by Tomes, gives it on to Rodri Lewis. Dave Richards has it now, caught there by Deans in front of the Scottish post. The drive on by Wheel. Now it's out to Evans. Munro with the tackle. Across comes Wheel again. Caught by Robertson. magnificent Scottish tackling. Wales throwing everything into it there. And wheel that great moving mountain from Swansea in that move twice. But the Scottish defence sealed all the little gaps.
Bruno Williams showing there how dangerous he can be in broken play, almost making the incision into the Scottish defence, and a different option possible from Rodney Lewis, and Wales could have been under the post.
So that put in maybe just a little bit too quick for Alan Phillips. Great refereeing there by David Burnett. You'll notice as soon as the scrummage went in, he whipped round the other side, because occasionally when the scrum collapses, it causes a bit of overheating, and he's really made his presence felt. Because there are a lot of old stagers in that scrummage, you know. They know what's going on, and it's a lovely little battle in a way between them and the others and the referee. So the Scots with the chance of relief. Rutherford once again. Yes, he's just saying, right, let's keep it calm, boys. He's captain of his club, Selkirk, this season. They're at the top of Division 2. They look as if they're going to be promoted. Knocked down by Squire again. That long one out to Fenwick. Fenwick straightening, tackled by Leslie. He's done some great knocking down. Jeff Wheel works it. Now it's Brynmo Williams. Gareth Davis. Davis caught by Deans on halfway. He's been penalised. Referee waiting for advantage. A penalty to Scotland for not releasing in the tackle. It really was a thumping tackle by Deans from behind. Gareth Davis probably didn't feel it coming. And Andy Irvine is going to kick for touch. I thought for a moment he might try to kick a goal, but obviously he doesn't want a loose ball floating about that Wales might run back at the Scots. Hoisted high by Rutherford, dropping on the Welsh 22. Gareth Davis couldn't hold it, fed out from Calder. Laidlaw out to Jones. There's an overlap here as Jones goes, but the referee's whistle has gone. Andy Irvine up in the line. It had gone forward, and Wales have the boot in. Well, the referee had come on to the other side, and Scotland, in fact, have the boot in. So you never know, he may well have been able to play advantage. But it's inside the 22. Laidlaw, Keith Robertson. Robertson trying to feed outside. Down goes Cuthbertson again. Laidlaw once more. Rutherford. Inside to Calder. Calder to Tomes. Beattie now. Beattie driving. The Scottish forwards almost rampant at the moment, but Beattie penalised for not releasing.
A fair decision there by the referee, because Beattie, although he did a lot of good hard work, was tackled and went to ground and didn't release the ball. But it seems the Wales just cannot shake loose from the grip the Scottish side has got on them, and in desperation are trying to move the ball when really they shouldn't try to be moving it. And the Scottish defence is so sound and up quickly that it's causing a lot of problems in midfield for Wales.
So we're back on halfway with 10 minutes of the match to go, and Scotland still ahead by 9 points to 6. Deans throws, Tomes palms, Cuthbertson goes in and drives. The big Glasgow forward throws off Brynmo Williams. Cuthbertson with the Pirates look about him, driving on. Laidlaw, Rutherford, Rennick, Robertson with that light-footed elusiveness of his. He's got Beattie with him. The ball went forward. And really this Scottish side have done this huge crowd proud no matter what the outcome. But as I've said many times before, Wales are never beaten until the final whistle goes. They are under siege, but they are always dangerous. Gareth Davis's kick, miscued. Irvine prodding it. Too far, it was good, but not good enough. Phillips to Wheel, Laidlaw going through the gap, caught again by Squire with tremendous tackling. Jeff Squire has done too for the Welshman. Penalty for not releasing. Gareth Davis looking for the corner flag. And it's not bad.
Do you know, Bill, there's always a danger at this stage of the game when you've been putting a lot of pressure, you think the game is in their grasp, there's only 3 points in it, and I wonder if we'll see that situation again when they've done most of the attacking and the opposition capitalised on a chance.
Cuthbertson goes down once more. Must say number 4 there, Bill Cuthbertson of Kilmarnock, known to his pals as Gulliver because he doesn't travel too well, but he's done that kind of work that he was put in there to do. The hard grafting, solid work, the falling, the driving, the tackling, the holding. Kind of unseen work that the likes of Mick Molloy used to do for Ireland. John Curry for England. Think of all the great lock partnerships. And they had a fellow just like him. Brynmore Williams, though. The switch to JPR. And JPR will be having a look at his studs, but Gareth Williams comes, Brynmore Williams, Fenwick, Deans half fetches him, now the switch from David Richard, it's loose as Ackerman goes down, kicked on there by Bruce Hay, Andy Irvine kicking on, can Irvine get there? And now Gareth Davis, the try has been given, and that is a penalty try for obstruction of Andy Irvine. Let's watch it again. It was the great hack upfield there, I think, by Bruce Hay. Now, Irvine and Gareth Davis were together. There may have been contact there. The referee may have decided that Irvine was impeded enough that a try would probably have been scored, and he has given the penalty try. And the wordage in the law is simply that if by foul play you prevent a try that would probably have been scored, and the word probably is the important one, then a penalty try should be awarded, and of course all penalty tries are given between the posts. Jim Rennick converts the try, his third successful kick of the match, and Scotland are ahead by 15 points to 6 with 4 minutes of the game to go. And Andy Irvine has now gone into double figures of tries, a world record, of course, for a fullback. Brynmore Williams, Alan Phillips, Williams, Clive Davis. It was in fact Gareth Williams. And he may have laid it back. Now it's back again to Brynmore. Change of kick this time, but Roy Laidlaw is there, caught by Dave Richards, but the Scots had been offside. Andy Irvine thought the penalty had gone to Scotland. The Scots were offside, and Wales going again for the try, as they must do. Gareth Davis, half caught by Keith Robertson, and running into awful trouble there as it's fed away. Keith Robertson kicks up to the Welsh 22. Back goes JPR, looking for the switch to Ackerman. Ackerman slices straight out, and it was outside the 22, so the throw-in is up there. I make it we've played about 2 minutes of injury time, and Scotland leading 15 points to 6. Aitken, Jim Aitken, rousing his forwards for one last effort. Deans throws, Stones palms, gathered in by Leslie, helped by Cuthbertson. The Welsh have done well, they're wrestling well. That's Ian Stevens who's got in there. Tremendous work by the Bridgend prop forward. Stevens really inserted himself in there. A great fitness fanatic #1 here. Playing in his second international. Out of the same stable, of course, as John Lloyd, the Welsh coach, two Bridgend international prop forwards. Midway between the Welsh 22 and halfway. Gareth Williams to Brynmore. Gareth Davis, Dave Richards, out to JPR Williams, out to Ackerman. Ackerman sunk again by Bruce Hay. Fenwick tries to feed it in. Dave Richards out along the line to Gareth Davis, still outside the Welsh 22. A lovely run by the Welsh stand-up half. That was forward to Alan Phillips, carried on by Dave Richards, and a thumping tackle by Bruce Hay. Fed back still, Brynmore Williams, Gareth Davis, the Welsh turning on everything here as Steve Fenwick breaks. Now it's Rodri Lewis, JPR inside again. And eventually Roy Laidlaw is back there. The referee's whistle has gone for the end of the match. And Scotland have won a dramatic victory by 15 points to 6.